Hi, I said I was going to try and do more videos, and I've actually been asked to do two particular, well, I say particular, but two reviews. One, I was asked by one of my friends from my Ergun club to do a review of a particular rifle I have, and I have a dozen of them, so there's plenty to pick from. And in conversation when I was doing the it was either the VR to Dirty Room Knives or, you know, why I'd been away, one of the guys said, well, just show us some of your knives, it doesn't matter about what knowledge you've got, because I'm just nosy. And that sounds a bit like me. I'm nosy too. Now when I did the VR2 Dirty Room Knives, you had to show favourite blade, grail blade, etc. And I did say that the second blade, I would have said, would have been this blade crafted from a railway spike. If I can get this right in. It's got fingerprints on it, unfortunately. It's got a nice mirror finish. It's super sharp on the point. I'm not going to touch the blade because, well, I am, but luckily it is super sharp. I've used this blade. This is a good campcraft blade, despite what some folk had said about it a while back when James Noble was first trying to sell these. I've got 3 of his knives, and that's the purpose of this review today, James Noble's blades. Also perhaps a little comment on James Noble. But anyway, I'm hoping this is coming through fine. If I can just show you the black handle, which is, as you can see, hammered into shape, and I did say it would look like a goose's head. No, I'd say goose's head scribed into the back end of it. The only gripe I did have was, of course, the sheath. Lovely thick leather sheath, but the stitching, the blade went straight through the stitching, out the bottom, and that was my first cut with this knife. But I love this blade, and I'll do something to fix that up, either do a Kydex one or perhaps do some filler in the bottom there just to strengthen it. Hangs nicely. Though the only other thing was, of course, the blade can fall out too easily, and it's no use showing myself because I already know that. There we are. And this would not be nice landing on your foot. No, probably wouldn't just stick in it, it would probably slice it in half. But anyway, I'll tell you the story about how I got that blade in a minute. But once I had got that blade, and I found out a bit more about James Noble. He appears at all the game fairs. He has a stall there. Either he does, or his brother does, or I think possibly his nephew's with him sometimes as well. Which is another point that will come up shortly. No, this one. The next one I got off him, and I've had this a long time, same as that blade a long time. I'm talking 10 years, at least. This neck knife. Nice little leather sheath. This one actually does a good job, and it's got a good little leather neck lanyard, or whatever you wish to call it, and if I hold it in front of the camera it would be better. Right, take it out. It's horn handle, proper deer horn. I don't know if it'll focus on that, but you can actually see some of the tiny holes that you normally get in horn. lovely feel to it, nicely shaped, nicely coloured, pins in it, nicely finished off, you can't feel them. There's nothing loose on this, it's nice and tight, and you can see file work. If I can just get this right so I can see it as well, and then I know I'm showing you the right thing. Some beautiful file work in there. And the blade. Again, I've had this an awful long time. The blade could actually do with cleaning up again, because again it's been a used blade and I should have oiled it up when I last used it. Bad of me to neglect it, my bad. Super sharp blade. Again, I wouldn't dare press my finger on that blade, and I haven't had to sharpen this again since I got it. I'm not going to start doing paper tests because, well, it does look really great and impressive. Impresses me more if a knife will skin a rabbit. I used a small one the other night that is just as sharp as this one. I took a block of chocolate out of the fridge and cut clean through it without it crumbling or breaking. That's impressive to me. But anyway, each to their own. I really do love that. Should just show it again if I can. Trouble is I'm relying on sunlight for light, and the sun keeps going behind dark clouds, but as you can see, beautiful work on the back. Again, I've had this, I think, at least 10 years, which is another point I'll be making shortly. But the third of my John Noble knives, and really very colourful leather sheath, by the way. I've not had this quite so long. I think I've had this about 3-4 years. Little strap on the back so you can fasten it on your belt if you like, and then nice little popper, fits firmly, nice reddish colour inside where the knife pull pops out. Now, some people refer to these as old men's knives, pocket pen knife. Again, I think this is beautifully made. And nice work on the back of the blade. 2 blades in this, nothing else. Traditional type. Now, did you hear that snap into place? This is not a lock knife. This is a legal knife over here to carry. The blade is just less than 3 inches, just a fraction under 3 inches, total length under 5 inches. It's a folder and snaps in really well and snaps out really well. It's but a lock knife. However, I'm putting some force against that now and getting it out from behind that bit at the back there takes some doing. So it's not going to easily shut on your fingers. It's as good as being locked into place without being a lock up. So over here in the UK, this is a legal knife, a legal carry, within reason. You can't carry it into a shop or a shopping centre or anything like that. But as a legal working blade, then satisfying click into place. Nice and chunky feel about it. I love that blade, yes. Like I said, I've probably had this about 3 years, possibly 4. Didn't cost me much neither. This blade and the neck knife cost me around £30 to £35, $70. Got a nice weighty feel, nice chunky feel, nothing loose on them. I'm hoping that it's hard to see when I'm stood up here and the blade's down there, but I'm hoping you get some of that colouring coming through from the sun there. There is nothing cheap on this, like some of these type of knives are tin air, plastic air. This is a good steel knife with, I don't know, bronzed insets, if you can see that. The wood, I'm just trying to make out the wood. It's almost has a three-dimensional look to it. Bit like Tiger Eye, which would make me think it's possibly... It's gone into my head. That's the trouble with age. Things go quite quickly. So anyway, James Noble. I got the railway spike knife from him via Amazon a long time ago, because I haven't had an account with Amazon for 10 years, mainly because they let me down once and let somebody screw me over. When I got the knife from James Noble, came quickly, I was pleased with it, and I did a small review of the knife after using it, and James came back to me and said, do you think you could put this on our Amazon business page and Google business page, because we're being attacked at the moment by people who are in the same business but are jealous of the fact that we make knives as good as they do, but we're selling them for half the price. And it seemed that two business people posing as ex-buyers from James Noble had written reviews saying that the knife could never be used as a camping knife, it was useless, blah 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 blah. I did get a friend of mine to tell James how to find out who these people were, and that's how we found out that they were a rival business, and told Amazon about it. What's transpired after that I don't know, I didn't get too involved in that side of it. I just thought it was a bit off that people were slighting and being peevish, telling lies. So I did write a good review of it, but it wasn't a false review, it was a review based on using the knife out in the field. As a few of the airgunners know, that from time to time I go out on shoots with people and I skin and gut my own game and bring it home and eat it. Unless it's a rat, of course I wouldn't do that, but hey. So anyway, after talking to James Noble, I found out that he had a stall regularly at game fairs, and went to talk to him, but it turned out his brother was running the stall at the time, and I think it was one of the nephews or sons of either of them was there as well, and they had some quite good stuff, not mass produced as you would expect with a custom knife maker, and quality stuff. Some of it was expensive to me. Looking at custom knives now these days through all the forums, I would say probably still a good cost, but then I started to see on other forums a lot of what amounted to me as hearsay. People had listened to or seen possibly this type of review put out by the rivals of James Noble telling lies, and from there on as is human nature, expanded without checking or finding out what the details were, and it got worse and worse. I got fed up of replying to some of these and I just had to let it go in the end. But one of the silly stories was that James Noble was copying other people's designs, having them made in Pakistan, and then put his signature on saying he'd made them. A lot of big companies are having the stuff made in India, China, Taiwan these days, and saying it's their stuff. So, but this is irrelevant to that. The knives I've just shown you, 2 of those knives are at least 10 years old. The legal folder, about 2 or 3 years old. The neck knife, at that time, I had only seen one other similar design to it. Nowadays you can buy it in an abundance anywhere. You can buy them exactly like that from China. But this was the real McCoy 10 years ago. The one made from the railway spike, again, the only other place that you could find a knife reasonably similar to that made from a railway spike was in America, and it was not identical. Having spoke to James's brother, and then later on at one of the other game fairs spoke to James himself, I realised that another myth being perpetuated around is that he goes under 3 different names selling his knives, his fake knives. And again, something that people didn't bother to check up on, that he, his brother, and the rest of his family, because there's more than just one of the sons who have their own outlets, have their own sales venues, such like, and sell different stuff. Just beyond belief to me, really, that lies can start off from one small place and expand so much and do so much damage. So, to a lot of doubters out there, I'm not even sure that James Noble has a website these days probably because of all the shit that was thrown in his direction. But he does appear at the game fairs. I have 3 of his well-crafted, good knives there, and I would put them against anything that I've ever seen. Okay, I don't know all these special words that go with the making of the knives because I don't craft the knives myself, but I do know a quality knife when I've got it in my hands, and I put them against anything on the market. So, anybody sees James Noble's knives, you don't go under James Noble now, I forget the name of the company, but you have a look for his knives at the game fairs. Have a look at them, pick them up, hold them. You'll find out that they're quality knives and not cheap shit. Anyway, that's as much as I need to say on that now, but just as a starter too, I've got quite a lot of knives, so I just thought I'd bring those first 3 and have a bit of a say on what I felt. The next video I'll be doing will be a video on my FX Verminator. Some guy contacted me and said, I've seen that you've got an FX Verminator, the first version, not the second version, and would you do a review on it? So hopefully I'll be getting the review on that sorted out, and I'll probably try and intersperse knives with guns or whatever else, because I've become quite a lot more interested in bushcraft and stuff again, which I did many years ago, because many years ago when I was 30 years younger than I am now, I was a boys brigade captain, and at that time teaching 40 boys in the boys brigade group that me and my friends ran as officers of the boys brigade. We had to learn and know about an awful lot of stuff in order to keep the lads interested and help them gain the badges and stuff, and fun times. So here I am coming round again, trying to relearn everything I've forgotten and all the new stuff that goes with it. Keeps life interesting. So here's me, Moonbear. Got my Moonbear t-shirt on. Signing off, and I'll be with you again soon. Keep safe, keep well.